Hey there! Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a lesson. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about how to discuss your daily routine in English. Waking up is the first step in your daily routine. This is when your day officially begins. Example 1. I wake up at 6:30 a.m. every weekday. My alarm goes off, and I try not to hit snooze. Example 2. I always wake up early because I like having quiet time before everyone else is up. Other phrases. Rise and shine, a cheerful way to say you woke up. Example, it's 7 a.m., time to rise and shine. Get up, to physically leave the bed after waking up. Example, I wake up at 7 a.m., but I don't get up until 7:30 a.m. because I enjoy lying in bed for a while. When you get up, it means you're out of bed and getting ready to start your day. Example 1, I get up around 7:30 a.m., take a quick shower, and get dressed for work. Example 2, I tend to get up early on weekdays, but I sleep in on weekends. Related vocabulary. Jump out of bed, to get out of bed quickly, usually with energy. Example, I jump out of bed as soon as my alarm rings so I can start my day right. Drag myself out of bed, a casual expression when you don't feel like getting up. Example, I really don't like mornings, so I often drag myself out of bed around 8 a.m. Breakfast is a crucial part of your morning routine. It's important to have a balanced meal that energizes you for the day ahead. Example 1, for breakfast, I usually have oatmeal with fruits and a cup of coffee. Example 2, I'm not very hungry in the morning, so I just grab a smoothie or some toast. New vocabulary. Grab a bite, a casual way to say you're having something to eat. Example, I don't have much time, so I just grab a bite before heading out. A hearty breakfast, a big, satisfying breakfast. Example, on weekends, I enjoy a hearty breakfast of pancakes, eggs, and bacon. Skip breakfast, to not have breakfast. Example, I sometimes skip breakfast when I'm running late. Now, let's talk about heading to work or school. For many people, this is one of the most important parts of the day. How you get there can also be part of your routine. Example 1, I leave for work at 8 a.m., and it takes me about 20 minutes to get there by bus. Example 2, I drive to work, but sometimes I take the subway if there's a lot of traffic. Related vocabulary. Commute, the regular journey to and from work or school. Example, my commute is around 30 minutes each way. Rush hour, the busy time when many people are traveling to work. Example, I try to avoid rush hour because the traffic is terrible. Carpool, to share a ride with others to save time or money. Example, I carpool with a colleague to work to reduce my carbon footprint. Many people like to exercise in the morning or evening. It helps with both physical and mental well-being. Let's look at how you can talk about your workout routine. Example 1, I usually exercise after work. I either go to the gym or take a long walk. Example 2, I like to start my day with a morning run to wake myself up. New vocabulary. Work out, to do physical exercises. Example, I work out at the gym 3 times a week to stay in shape. Do yoga, a form of exercise that focuses on stretching, breathing, and strength. Example, after work, I do yoga to relax my mind and body. Hit the gym, to go to the gym for a workout. Example, I try to hit the gym at least 4 times a week. After a busy day, it's time to relax. Whether you watch TV, read, or do something creative, taking time to unwind is essential. Example 1, in the evenings, I like to relax by watching a TV show or reading a book. Example 2, I often take a warm bath to relax before bed. Related vocabulary. Unwind, to relax and relieve stress after a busy day. Example, I unwind by listening to music or meditating. Chill out, a casual expression for relaxing. Example, I usually chill out by playing video games after dinner. Take it easy, to relax without stress or pressure. Example, on weekends, I just take it easy and don't plan anything too hectic. Finally, let's talk about the most important part of your day, going to bed. Getting enough sleep is essential for a productive tomorrow. Example 1, I try to go to bed by 10 p.m. so I can get a full 8 hours of sleep. Example 2. I'm usually in bed by 11 p.m., but sometimes I stay up reading. New vocabulary. Hit the hay, a casual way of saying you're going to bed. Example, it's getting late. I think I'll hit the hay soon. Turn in, another informal way of saying you're going to bed. Example, I usually turn in around 10:30 p.m., especially if I have an early meeting the next day. Now, let's move on to some practical examples and questions. These will help you put your new vocabulary into action when talking to someone about your daily routine. 1. Simple questions to ask about someone's routine. What time do you wake up? What's the first thing you do after you wake up? Do you exercise every day? What time do you go to bed? 2. Talking about your own routine. I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m., take a shower, and get ready for work. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. and go for a jog before breakfast. 3. Asking for more details. What do you do after you get home from work? Do you like to cook dinner or order takeout? Before we wrap up, I want to share some final tips to help you keep improving your English and talk about your daily routine with even more confidence. 4. Practice makes perfect. Don't forget, the more you practice, the better you'll get. Try talking about your routine in English every day, even if it's just with yourself. 5. Use apps and resources. There are many language learning apps and websites that can help you expand your vocabulary and practice speaking. Apps like Duolingo, Babbel, or even YouTube can help you. 6. Be consistent. Consistency is key. Make a habit of practicing every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Now, let's talk about some useful phrases that will help you sound more natural and confident when talking about your daily routine in English. These phrases are perfect for small talk, and you can use them in conversations with friends, colleagues, or even new acquaintances. 7. On a typical day, I. This is a great way to describe what you usually do during your day. It's helpful when you want to give someone a quick overview of your routine. Example 1. On a typical day, I wake up at 6 a.m., go for a run, and then get ready for work. Example 2. On a typical day, I work from 9 to 5 and then unwind with a good book in the evening. Why it's useful. This phrase gives a clear and easy to follow structure for your routine, making it easy to share in casual conversations. 8. I usually is perfect for talking about regular activities that are a part of your routine. It gives a comfortable, easygoing vibe. Example 1. I usually eat lunch around 12:30 p.m. It's my favorite time of the day. Example 2. I usually take a walk after dinner to help digest and relax. Why it's useful. This phrase works well when you're sharing things you do on a regular basis but not necessarily every single day. 9. I tend to. I tend to is a great phrase to talk about things you do most of the time, but with a little flexibility. It's perfect for showing that you're not rigid in your routine. Example 1. I tend to go to bed around 10:30 p.m., but sometimes it's later if I'm busy. Example 2. I tend to have a light breakfast, like fruit and yogurt, but on weekends, I love pancakes. Why it's useful. This phrase helps convey that your routine might change a little depending on the day or situation, which makes you sound more relatable and flexible. 10. I'm into. I'm into is a great way to talk about hobbies or activities you enjoy, especially if they're part of your routine. It helps you express passion or enthusiasm for something you regularly do. Example 1. I'm really into yoga. I do it every morning to start my day with calm energy. Example 2. I'm into cooking, so I try to make dinner from scratch every night. Why it's useful. This phrase is useful when you want to talk about things you enjoy doing as part of your routine and show your enthusiasm. 5. It's a part of my daily routine. This is a solid way to explain the activities or habits that are non-negotiable in your life. It helps emphasize that something is a must-do for you. Example 1. Drinking coffee in the morning is a part of my daily routine. I can't start my day without it. Example 2. Reading before bed is a part of my daily routine. It helps me relax. Great job so far. Now it's time for more practice. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to answer them using the phrases we just learned. Ready? Let's get started. 1. What time do you usually wake up? Example answer: I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m. because I like to get an early start on the day. 2. What's the first thing you do after waking up? Example answer: the first thing I do is check my phone to see if I have any urgent emails or messages. 3. How do you spend your evenings? Example answer: I tend to spend my evenings watching TV or reading a book. Sometimes, I like to go for a walk. 4. Do you exercise every day? Example answer: I don't exercise every day, but I try to work out at least 3 times a week. 5. What do you usually have for lunch? Example answer: for lunch, I usually have a sandwich or salad, depending on how much time I have. Reminder: try to answer these questions out loud, and make sure to use the new vocabulary we've learned today. Keep practicing using contractions and these helpful phrases to sound more natural in your conversations. Before we finish today's lesson, here are a few final tips to keep improving your English and sounding even more natural. 1. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice speaking about your daily routine, the more confident you'll feel. Try talking to a friend, language partner, or even in front of the mirror. 2. Vary your phrases. Don't be afraid to use different phrases to express the same idea. Instead of always saying, I wake up at, try, I tend to wake up at. Or, I usually get up at. 3. Be comfortable with small talk. Remember, small talk is all about being friendly and sharing simple details about your life. Keep your answers short, but don't be afraid to go into a little more detail when you feel comfortable.